Hi, I'm Jan Arasi of JR Digital Media and welcome to Scene Review. Today I'm kickstarting what I hope will turn into a series where I take notable action scenes and dissect them, but there is a twist and I'll be talking about that later on in the video. As you may have noticed from the title, we're taking a look at the movie that saved the 2020 box office. Yep, that's Christopher Nolan's Tenet. A science fiction action thriller starring John David Washington and Robert Pattinson in the leads. The story follows our protagonist as he deals with enemies from the future who threaten the present, and it's basically how he overcomes inversion entropy and saves humanity. Basically, it's Inception mixed with James Bond. But don't worry, we're not here for a movie review or talk about how complex the storyline was. I'm here to pick apart what I think is one of the best action pieces in this movie. Yes, that's right, it's the one with the plane in it. So let's get straight to it. I'm going to be watching the scene on my laptop in front of me right here, so if I'm looking down all the time, I do apologise, and you're going to be able to follow along with the scene right here. So the scene starts off with our protagonist team prepping themselves at the airport. The leads are setting themselves up for the heist inside the Freeport storage facility, and the rest of the team are on board an aircraft catering vehicle ready to hijack the plane. The incredible thing about this entire scene is despite the range of shots from aerial to handheld, the entire thing is filmed in IMAX. And if you know anything about Christopher Nolan, he loves to shoot his movies in IMAX. But you can see why he does it. He understands that IMAX is the highest quality imaging format around and has better colour representation with super sharp images. So far we've only seen the interior of the plane and the Freeport, but finally we see the plane in all its glory. A full-fledged Boeing 747 was purchased just for this scene, but the director did think this was going to be more cost-effective than using VFX or miniatures. A new one of these things could cost upwards of $400 million, which is just ridiculous. So Nolan just visited an aviation scrapyard and picked one up for £300,000, which is a bargain compared to the $200 million budget this movie had. He was originally meant to buy a 737, which is slightly smaller, but saw some 747s sitting in the distance and thought, yes, I'll have one of those. So we've got the gold in the back, which the good guys are using as a cover-up for fake hijacking this plane. Basic pirate techniques here is used to blow the back out of the aircraft. The force must have been substantial because if I zoom in here, you can see the caved-in metal door lying on the runway. So here we've got a nice edge arm and wheel shot of the gold being dropped, keeping the plane in view to show the scale of the action. If I pause it right here, you can see that the plane was stripped of all its basic paintwork. Some standard lettering on plain white strips is all that was needed. The bare aluminium still looks good, so there's no point in going overboard. Talking of which, here go the pilots. The scene takes place in Oslo, but it was actually shot at Victorville Airport in South California, which is coincidentally where Nolan bought his used 747. Safety is obviously the highest priority when filming something on this scale, so the engineers had to find a way to make the plane go, stop, and steer. They basically used the same mechanics that are used in remote control cars, just scaled up because it is a plane. The team even went as far as kitting the plane out with actual aircraft brakes. The jet engines can still be seen spinning as if they were idling to add a sense of realism to the scene. The warehouse itself is not a part of the original airport, but was built as part of the set or for destruction. Constructed out of a steel framework with corrugated roofing and flimsy side panels, it makes it a perfect target for our 747. And just in case the sheer brute of this plane wasn't apparent, a small car park set with fencing and cars was placed in its way. This shot of the plane heading towards the Freeport and exploding on contact is sort of a one-shot deal, so they tried to cover this from as many angles as possible. They placed IMAX cameras, which are known to be fiddly and quite a bit larger than traditional cameras, literally everywhere they could. So we got Steadicams, edge arm on cars, dollies, helicopters, inside the Freeport, outside the Freeport, even on the plane, the entire set was covered. As you can see, the plane's heading towards the Freeport, tearing through anything in its way. The nose of the plane crashes through the glass front of the Freeport, and the roof collapses in on itself. One of the jets hits a freestanding airside vehicle and explodes on contact. The interior shot shows more explosions, and the final aerial shot reveals the plane coming to a standstill. As far as action scenes go, this is relatively short, just coming under 6 minutes, but a lot has gone on, taking over the plane, dropping the gold out, steering it adrift, crashing it into the free port, all whilst the heist is going on inside. And that brings me on to the end of this scene teardown. The next part, which is the twist I was telling you about, will involve me recreating this entire scene from scratch. I'll be designing and making the set, making the free port, making the plane, wiring the lighting, wiring the pyrotechnics needed to cause an explosion, and all the other little things in between. And I'll be taking you along every step of the way. So join me in my next video for more movie making magic. I guess I have to make an outro, so if you liked what you saw and want to see more, leave a like and subscribe here, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to check out more videos on my channel, that can be found here. And what movie scenes would you like to see next? Leave a comment below and I will try my best to make it happen. Thank you for watching.